Today on Game Pass Daily, I'll let you know what's coming out this week on Game Pass. We will discuss the rumors of more Xbox titles going to other platforms, as well as my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. That and more coming up next. Before we dive into the latest Xbox and Game Pass news, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Now let's talk about the games coming this week to Game Pass. Driven from Norway by endless wars and dwindling resources in the 9th century, players will lead Eivor's clan of Norsemen across the icy North Sea to the rich lands of England's broken kingdoms. Players must carve out a new future for their clan, reliving the ruthless fighting style of Viking warriors with a revamped combat system that includes the ability to dual-wield weapons against a greater variety of enemies than ever before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is available today, January 9th, on Game Pass for Xbox, PC, and cloud. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, become a legendary Viking raider on a quest to find glory. Explore a dynamic and beautiful open world set against the brutal backdrop of England's Dark Ages. Raid your enemies, grow your settlement, and build your political power in the quest to earn a place among the gods in Valhalla. The time to beat this game has clocked in at around 60 hours for the main story and around 142 hours if you are a completionist. Next up is a musical action adventure set in the recesses of the human mind. Welcome to the world of Figment, a strange and surreal world, a place filled with our deepest thoughts, urges, and memories, populated by the many voices we hear in our heads. Figment is available today, January 9th on Game Pass for Xbox, PC, and cloud. This mind has been quiet and calm for many years, but something has changed. New thoughts have started to emerge, taking the shape of nightmarish creatures who spread fear wherever they go. The only hope is for the grumpy Dusty, the mind's former voice of courage, to get back to his old self and help the mind to face its fears. Join Dusty and his ever-optimistic friend Piper on an adventure through the different sides of the mind, solving puzzles to set things straight, beating back the nightmares, and seeking to restore the courage that's been lost. Figment should take you about 5 hours to complete, or 6.5 hours if you want a 100% completion. Grab your glove and your bat, time to go to yard with the best to ever play the game, because Super Mega Baseball 4 is here, and it's where the legends play. More than 200 larger-than-life versions of fan-favorite former pros like Johnny Damon, Ozzie Smith, and Jason Giambi are ready to step onto the field and join the roster of beloved Super Mega League All-Stars. Super Mega Baseball 4 is available Thursday, January 11th for Game Pass on Xbox, PC, and cloud. Hit, pitch, throw, and slide into home plate with the series' signature combination of arcade-inspired style and immersive gameplay depth. Baseball becomes bigger and better than ever with new features, familiar modes like franchise and pennant race, and more. Touted as the baseball game that is easy to pick up and go, this is something that the casual fan could enjoy. Set in retro-futuristic 1960s England, you will find a city ravaged by war and rebuilt by delusional happy people. Everything appears joyful in Wellington Wells, including its roads, its people, and its omnipresent television personality, Uncle Jack. But it's actually a world on the brink of collapse. Come to unveil its dark history and discover how and why its residents came to be so annoyingly happy. We Happy Few is available Thursday, January 11th for Xbox, PC, and cloud. In this alternate 1960s England, conformity is key. Discover the retro-futuristic city's dark history as you play through the intertwined narratives of 3 quietly rebellious citizens of Wellington Wells, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, as they face their past, prepare for the future, and engage in activities that aren't exactly status quo in the artificially enthused society. You can complete We Happy Few in about 20 hours or 66 hours for a 100% completion. The internet has been buzzing lately with the rumors of more Xbox titles going to other platforms such as Nintendo and PlayStation. This has a lot of people unhappy and even more wondering, well, what's the big deal? Let's put on our tinfoil hats and discuss, because what I'm about to suggest is probably gonna sound crazy. The rumor started from the Nate the Hate podcast. He said during the show, and I quote, "In the calendar year of 2024, Microsoft will bring one of their more acclaimed first-party releases to a competitor's system." He went on to say, and I quote, "The title I'm referring to was met with high critical acclaim. Fans loved it. It was in the Game of the Year conversation the year that it was released," end quote. Here is a quick clip from that podcast.
Definitely expect to see some Xbox titles, run on the Switch or the Switch successor and on PlayStation 5 hardware. Makes sense to me.
Yes, and the title I am referring to was met with high critical acclaim. Fans loved it. It was in the Game of the Year conversation the year it released.
Was it Redfall?
I can't confirm or deny it being Redfall.
It's not going to be.
It's not Redfall.
Going to be Redfall.
No, it's not Redfall. But when the announcement comes, I think it's going to be met with a lot of excitement because this is a quality game. And as you were saying, I think this is a smart move for Microsoft. And I could see why a lot of Xbox fans, especially the hardcore loyalists, may be just hell-bent against it.
The internet then went on to suggest the game could be the beloved Xbox IP, Hi-Fi Rush, making its way onto the Nintendo Switch. Others suggest it could be Psychonauts 2, coming to the Switch since it's already on PlayStation 4 and was also a Game of the Year contender. Many believe one or more of these titles will be released when the Switch 2 is available sometime in 2024. Besides those two, we're also hearing some rumblings of Sea of Thieves possibly going to other platforms as well. Now keep in mind, these are just rumors, so take it with a pinch of salt. But I'm actually going to take it a step further, because why not? If these rumors are true, I have a crazy theory besides Microsoft just wanting to make more money off of old IP. What if this is a much bigger play for the Japanese market? I'm not talking about Hi-Fi Rush or even Psychonauts moving the needle and selling a bunch of units, but something much bigger than that. I'm talking about Microsoft's next possible acquisition. I'm talking about Sega. Stay with me for a second. In a recent interview with BBC Radio, Microsoft's president Brad Smith talked about doing business in the UK and how he feels about the UK post the Activision Blizzard deal going through. Let's take a listen.
The last time we had you on the program, Brad, you obviously were in the midst of the Activision Blizzard potential takeover, and you had pretty strong words about the Competition and Markets Authority and the regulator, and about Britain full stop. With sort of time that's gone from then, have you changed any of your feelings around both Britain, I guess, as a place for Microsoft to do business, and the regulator's place within that, I guess?
The short answer is yes. We start a new year. I think, certainly from my vantage point, having learned a lot from the year we just completed, I've certainly learned a lot personally. I wouldn't step back necessarily from all of the concerns I raised when I talked way back in April, but I might choose slightly different words to make my point. But most importantly, I feel good. I think everyone should feel good about the months that followed. The role that the CMA itself played, that people in the United Kingdom played, the CMA held to a tough stand, and I respect that. But in my view, it was tough and fair.
Now you have to wonder, why the sudden change of heart? Well, if Microsoft continues down the path of wanting to acquire more studios and possibly another publisher, which we know they want to, then once again, they will need the UK and CMA's approval to do so in regards to a publisher like Sega. For those that don't know, Sega has several international branches, and one of those branches is located in London. So if Microsoft tries to acquire them, then the CMA will once again be involved. It makes sense for Brad Smith to play nice with regulators. It makes sense for Microsoft to share its IP specifically with the likes of Nintendo to show regulators that consumers won't be harmed by a Microsoft-owned Sega. And what a great way to do so by sharing a beloved IP like Hi-Fi Rush with a competitor. Maybe I'm giving them way too much credit and thinking that Microsoft is playing 4D chess right now. Could they be thinking that far ahead to pave the way for the next acquisition and having a proven track record of sharing their titles to appease regulators? Or is all this complete nonsense and none of these games are going anywhere and I just wasted several minutes of your time with my ridiculous conspiracy theory? No matter what happens, Xbox's new strategy of being everywhere will take some getting used to for console gamers. I still strongly believe many games will still stay exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, but I do think over time we will see more cherry-picked games to go to other platforms. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the rumored games going to Nintendo or PlayStation and my speculation about Sega. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to Game Pass Daily on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and join our Discord gaming community.